Who here is already selling on Amazon Australia? 1, 2, 3. Okay, just 2 of you. Okay, so we got a lot of. What about eBay? Who's selling on eBay already? Lots of people. Okay, so for the 2 people here that's selling on Amazon, can I ask what ratio you're getting out of your eBay versus Amazon?
5%.
5%.
Maybe less.
Amazon.
Cool. Well, from overall
Yep.
income, I think it's maybe 1%.
Okay, cool. And Jamie?
Far less on Amazon because we had a bit of an altercation at the start, and they actually stuffed up when we were allowed to go on. So we kept bugging them and bugging them. They said, no, it's just not ready yet. And then a couple of months later, they said, oh, there was actually a system fault. So it put us right a fair bit behind the 8 ball.
Right.
So, yeah, still a fair bit less than eBay, like less than 5%.
Okay, all right. So that's generally the consensus. So, because on Monday night I did this same presentation in Sydney, last night Adelaide, and tonight. So, and that's the general consensus. Is most people are getting around the 5, and the kind of max I'm hearing is like 15%. So just to give everyone some idea. So it's been a little bit of a slow uptake of Amazon into Australia. Because a lot of people went there originally and there were a lot of sellers on it. The sellers got excited more than the buyers because it was the next shiny new object, so I thought people thought, oh, this is going to be awesome. But it's been a bit slow for the public to uptake on Amazon, but don't give up on it. It's Amazon is a Goliath, as we'll get into tonight. So for those people who are new, haven't been to one of these events before, welcome. It's great to see some new faces here. We do run these events. We try to run them normally around every 8 weeks, sometimes 6 weeks. We just kind of vary, depends on what's on. So what we're all about here is, sorry, just go back. Like it says here, sharing, networking, learning, community. So we share ideas, we share concepts, methodologies. I do believe in the law of abundance where we can share ideas and concepts and methodologies. We don't necessarily share our top selling items and our suppliers, but we share methodologies. There's plenty to go around. So tonight is all about how to sell on Amazon Australia. Now, tonight we've got a reasonably small group tonight, so we're going to do interactive. So if you guys got questions, please ask. And if the experienced people in the room, if anyone can help anyone else, please take a little bit of time to help the newbies, because we were all newbies at one stage. Okay, so our vision, our purpose of the group is, like it says here, to help more people build automated online businesses using the internet. And the internet now has been around for nearly 25 years, and it's been a complete game changer. So we're not trapped down to what the old days have been, Western society of going to university, getting a job and working for someone else for the rest of your life and playing bowls and die. We don't have to do that anymore. So if you are a full-time seller, please take a little bit of time out. We do networking at the end of these events. If people ask you questions, please take a little bit of time to help them out. So what is Amazon? Amazon, like eBay, is this. It's a source of continuous, abundant traffic. Just like eBay. So compared to conventional advertising marketing, where you buy traffic, so let's say on the online world, Google, like you can buy pay-per-click traffic on Google or banner ads or whatever. You can also do it with Facebook. With eBay, Amazon, it's a source of abundant traffic. You list an item, you can get abundant amount of people to look at your listing. Our job as eBay online sellers is simply this. Just like every other business, identify and fulfill market needs. It's that simple. Identify and fulfill market needs. So I'm going to talk a lot tonight about whether you can either be a product tester or you can supply proven items. I'm a huge fan of proven items these days. We used to do a lot of product testing. Now we're going to do 1 in 20. As a tester, the other 9 out of every 20 items, we'll have 1 untested item. The other 19 are all proven items. If you're starting off, I recommend you only do proven items. So, and of course, the difference between a small online business and a large one is simply, how many products have you got? I've shown this slide many times before. It's every leaf is a product. Every product, because we sell brand new stuff, sells over and over and over again. The more products, the bigger your business. Another way to look at it, of course, is how many streams make a river. So that's the only difference between a 5-digit business, a 6-digit business, a 7 or an 8-digit business is how many products have you got that are continuously selling over and over again. So who am I? For those who don't know who I am or don't know my story, I started back in the late 90s, selling online. In 2003, I got divorced and I was a single father, and I came from a place of desperation where I didn't want to go get a job because I've only had one job in my life. I didn't like it, so I didn't want to get another one. So I was in a single father state, so I started selling on eBay. I went full-time in 2005. And I just focused on building a business. Then out of the blue in 2010, I got a call from our eBay rep saying that we're $1 million sellers, and would I do a talk for the Professional eBay Sellers Association in Melbourne, which I did in 2010. Then not long after that, I started selling on Amazon, and again, I just focused on that as well as eBay. Then in 2015, Amazon called me up and said, hey, we're thinking about opening in Australia. Would you do a roadshow around Australia with us? And we did, and then 6 months later, they announced they were opening in Australia. Was anyone in the room go to that roadshow? Jamie? Oh, good on you. One person. Yeah, I think you might have been there. Yeah. So that was a while back. So these days, I got remarried, of course, and then now we run the whole operation from a farm 4 hours out of Sydney. So now we have no stock, no inventory, no staff on our property at all. Everything's run virtual. Everything else, like drop shipping, etc., is all virtual inventory, and I'll talk about that tonight. Okay, so tonight, again, interactive. So if you've got any questions or comments, please ask. That's what we're here for. And we're all here as a group. This is all our own group, guys, so we can just share ideas and concepts. We're all here to help each other.
So is that question as we go or at the end?
During, so if it starts getting too many questions, then I'll let everyone know, then we'll keep them to the end. But while we're still in time, just sing out. Okay, so if I use any words tonight that you're not used to, please tell me. We can all get caught up with what we call the curse of knowledge, where we use words that no one's used to. When you do anything long enough, you use words where you don't forget that the average person doesn't know that about, and we can be all guilty of that. So if I use any words you don't understand, just ask me. So Amazon, an impressive long-term growth where it just keeps growing bigger and bigger and bigger continuously. We all know it's huge in places like America, Germany, etc. And I'll give you some more stats in a second. This is the latest slide I can get, which is a little bit old now. So this would have changed a little bit, but it gives you a bit of an idea. Of course, US being the biggest, we're down here. And I'm sure China's rapidly moving up as well. Yep.
The Amazon Prime for $49 per month.
Yes.
Is that mandatory?
No. I'll get into Amazon Prime in a second. No, it's definitely not mandatory. It almost seems like it is, but we'll get to that. All right. So how to sell on Amazon Australia. Obviously, the first thing you need on Amazon Australia is a product, just like every business. There's a lot of people out there trying to find a business where you don't have to sell a product or a service, but I'm not aware of one on the whole planet. Every single business, you sell a product or you sell a service. Unless someone can correct me on that. They haven't yet. Then you ask yourself, do you want to sell proven or unproven products? And what have you got now? Do you have any products you can sell already on eBay? Or do you have access to a bricks and mortar store? Just think about your assets and what you've got available to you. You can also import items. You can purchase locally wholesale, which I'll talk about tonight. You can also drop ship products. I'm going to talk more about drop shipping shortly. So I'm going to first go through a few industry names because a lot of people don't know these names. We've got a lot of beginners in the room. The first one is FBA, which is bantered around a lot. FBA stands for Fulfillment by Amazon. In other words, there's two ways of doing it. If you sell this item yourself, you can ship it, and that's called FBM, Fulfillment by Merchant. Or if you send it to one of the Amazon warehouses, and they've got over 400 of these warehouses around the world, they will ship it all out for you. Now, Amazon's also got one of these FBA houses in Dandenong in Victoria. They've also got another one in Moorebank in Sydney. That's the second one they've opened in Australia. But there's over 400 of these warehouses around the world. So basically you send your goods to them, they hold them, they pick it, they pack, and they ship direct to your customer. Is everyone clear on that? So that's what FBA is, Fulfillment by Amazon. Now Amazon, yep.
How much does it cost for them to do that?
$49 per month plus GST, plus there's other costs, yeah. So I'm going to give you some more links shortly about FBA. So now, I'm going to talk a lot, and the lady at the back mentioned this Amazon Prime. Amazon Prime is huge. So if you're a buyer, and let's say you're in the US, but it's available in Australia as well, but if you're in the US, you can join Amazon Prime, and then you get guaranteed delivery in 48 hours in most parts of the USA, and in some parts much faster. This laser pointer, I was in New York a couple of years ago and I didn't have a laser pointer, so I logged on to Amazon Prime because I'm an Amazon Prime USA member, and this arrived at my hotel room at 11 o'clock. So I ordered at 9, arrived at 11. That's one of the features of Amazon Prime. Other features are you also get access to many like TV stations, Showtime, the Amazon only shows like the Grand Tour, which is like the latest version of Top Gear that they own, radio stations, TV stations, a whole gamut of things, a music channel like iTunes, etc. that if you're an Amazon Prime member. So Amazon Prime membership just keeps going up and up and up and up. As you can see, the number of millions of people that are members of Amazon Prime is huge. And that's what they're doing in Australia now as well. This is why eBay has eBay Plus to compete with Amazon Prime. But that's another story. So you can always have a look. If you look at any product in Amazon, like this particular product, you can see here how many other sellers have got Amazon Prime. Now, Amazon guarantees that speed because it only guarantees it if an item is set for Amazon Prime, and to do that it has to be sent to an Amazon warehouse. So if you want to sell these and you want to appear to Amazon as Amazon Prime, you must send it to an Amazon warehouse. Now this gives us terrific opportunities because we can look at products that are not sent to the warehouse, and if you send them to the warehouse, you're going to go above your competitors when everything else is equal, because Amazon will show listings that are at the warehouse over and above the other listings when all things else is equal, price, etc. So this gives us huge opportunities. So this particular item, there's 3 items of this particular item in Amazon Prime. Okay, so you can find out how many items are in any category in Prime or at the warehouse and how many are not. And the way you do this is simply this. I've gone to this category here on Amazon. I've gone to toys, games, hobbies, remote app control toys, drones and multi-rotors. Then I have not ticked the Prime button, but I've put in here a little trick where you can put minors and some rubbish, and if you do that, it will show you how many items are in a category. If I go to the next slide, it'll make more sense. So now I've clicked the Prime button, and now it tells me there's 400 results in the drones and multi-rotors. If I go back to the previous slide, there was 4,000. So what that says, there is 400 in Prime, 3,600 are not. So just in that category, you've got 3,600 opportunities to send items to the FBA warehouse. Is everyone clear on that? So this little trick, I'm going to talk about this more tonight, but that little trick there makes a huge difference because you get to now see how many are in the category. Okay, so buyers prefer to purchase from FBA sellers because they get things fast. Like, you know, they're typical, everybody can take 6 months to decide they want something, but when they want it yesterday. And Amazon knows this, and this is why Amazon pushes so hard for fast deliveries. This is why Amazon's pushing for drone deliveries, where they want to get things delivered by drones. Yep.
Is it fast in Australia at the moment? Is it?
Well, Australia's a whole different kettle of fish because we're a massive country. So there's all the logistics of Australia, which is still creating, you know, they can't do it as fast as...
I'm a bit worried about selling on Amazon Australia at the moment. It just seems like there's so many fees and it's just a bit of a money pit, not...
Well,
at the moment? Like,
yeah, your fees should be a very small percentage of your profit. You know,
yeah, and then you get referral fees. And
you still should be a very small percentage of your profit. Yep.
Do you know if the FBA they use Australia Post?
The FBA, yeah, because it depends on your location of what they use. They select what couriers they want to use based on your location. So there's no fixed. Same with FBA all around the world.
Because it's not Australia Post, and
they'll use couriers
to deliver to my house. And if no one is there, if not Australia Post, it's always a struggle to rearrange for that delivery. So for online shopping, I think Australia Post is the most convenient, but also the slowest.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why I'm asking, like,
There's no set. It's their discretion of what they use based on your postcode, your delivery postcode.
okay.
All right, so buyers prefer to purchase from FBA sellers because of the guarantee of the speed. So Amazon shows FBA items higher in the search results. And if you can find any item that's got no other FBA sellers, it rocks, or very few. Because you've obviously got yourself an opportunity. And there's tons of items there that is not in the warehouse. So if Amazon FBA Fulfilled by Amazon, they do your warehousing, they do your shipping, they fulfill your Amazon orders. Also, they can fulfill your website orders, so you can log on to Amazon Seller Central and have the items shipped direct from the warehouse, direct to your customers. Now, a lot of people all over the world do the same. They use Amazon warehouses to supply their eBay orders. But in the April Spring Seller Release, eBay specifically said no in Australia. So if you do it, you know, you've been told not to do it, so you're pushing your luck. And that was in the April Spring Seller Release. They also manage your customer service and returns for you as well. They can also log on and have the Amazon ship your items straight back to you as well if you want to. Like if you want to have, say if you got a whole stack of items come from China, they unpack it all for you, and you want to get one sample to photograph, they can just ship one to your place.
Excuse me.
Yep.
Is there minimum amounts that you have to ship
No.
to the house? No.
Nope. One item. Amazon Prime, estimated. So as you can see here, Prime members spend more money than non-Prime members. So you'll see here tonight, I'm flicking between Australia slides and US slides. If I can't get enough data, I'm going back to the US slides. And we'll almost certainly follow suit. This lack of data is a problem because, and that's why a lot of, as I'll show you tonight, a lot of the main software companies like Jungle Scout, as I'll get to tonight, aren't opening in Australia because they just say there's not enough data. And this is the problem why I'm going back to some of these slides. So they'll pick and pack and ship customers, and they've got over 400 of these FBA warehouses around the world. Now, just on that as well, with Amazon Australia, you can send some products, and they sell like hotcakes. So don't think it's just like, you know, it's just an abyss out there. It's not. There's some products out there that are selling really well on Amazon. And the good thing about getting in there early is that you get reviews. And once you've got a lot of reviews, it's very hard for someone else to get underneath and pip you on the top of the pedestal. So it is advantages. But if you've got products now, if you're selling on eBay, then just list the same items on Amazon. And on your website as well. So now the thing I talked about tonight, what is private labeling? Because a lot of people aren't aware of it. Private labeling is simply when you put your logo on a product. And there's many ways of doing this. You can choose existing products that are selling well. If you're a drop shipper, you can put on your dropship items. So this one here, this bomber is owned by a company called Edison's, which is owned by a guy called Steve Mills, Australian company, and this is his name that he's using. And that name, whatever name you choose for private labeling, must give the feeling of quality and trust. You always get them surveyed, and I'll give you a couple of sites where you can get that done tonight. Okay, so Bunnings, of course, have got the Ozito range, which is their own private label. You can private label your top selling dropship items or import products or label existing products, done that. The branding, they must be high quality. You must get a high quality, it doesn't cost much money these days to get it done high quality. You can get a really flash brand logo done for less than $100. Just needs to give the feeling of quality and trust. Now, a couple of places to get it done. Squad Help, you can have competitions and they can compete and to find the best one that everyone will come up with, and the same with 99 Designs. Now, these slides tonight will be available, so you don't have to write everything down. I'll give you a link and you can download the slides. So these two sites, we've used them many times for names, logos, brand names, all the rest of it, and they work very well. And also, there's a free service called Wordoid, where you can type in a name and it'll come up and give you a lot of suggestions for other words. It's a free tool, which works very well. So, for those who don't know what dropshipping is basically when you list an item on either eBay, Amazon, or your own website that you don't have in your possession. Then when it sells, you get paid, and then when you get paid, you then log on to the supplier and put the details in there, pay for it, and then the supplier ships direct to your customer. So dropshipping is cash flow positive because you don't pre-purchase upfront inventory, unlike importing, where you have to pre-purchase inventory up front. So dropshipping, you get paid first and then order the product after you're paid. So it's a cash flow positive strategy. You don't need to keep stock on hand. You don't pre-purchase any upfront inventory. You don't ship the product, so you don't ever see the product, you don't ever touch it. You don't wrap it, you don't drive to the post office, you do none of that. Your suppliers do all that hard yakka for you. You just transfer the orders and the supplier ships the order direct. So it's, in the industry, it's called virtual inventory. A lot of, not just online businesses, but bricks and mortar stores are going to the online, the dropshipping methodology, places like the Iconic, etc., because it just means they don't have to open more warehouses, they don't have to get staff, they don't have to outlay all this cash up front to buy stock. So I'm not going to go right into dropshipping tonight because I've done this before. If you want to know more about it, there is a link there, and that will teach you about how to find suppliers, etc.
How does that work with Prime?
It doesn't,
Yeah, so
because Prime is FBA, so you have to send your goods to the warehouse. So you've got to buy the products up front. So dropshipping and Prime is two different things. Yeah, Prime is, yeah, you've got to buy the stock, send the stock. So the way dropshipping works, you choose a product